I have been grateful for the opportunity since before I even accepted the call here to have the wisdom of the Reverend Dr. Dave Sammons be part of what informs my ministry here. And I've been grateful as well for the ministry of Aaron Gilmartin, who said that the shame of the religious enterprise is that it can dig itself too much into the sidelines of life, in the familiar and the domestic, the private and the sentimental, to the giving of identity and the soothing of anxiety, but certainly not always to leadership in shaking up the structures of order, the kind of leadership that requires courage. That is one of the values, as Dave just said so ably, that has been transmitted in this congregation and that we continue to transmit across this time that we're in. As Dave said, we might give it some different words, but we continue that legacy of values. And what I wanted to say was that 2 years ago, we took a collection as part of our big ask to raise some monies to refurbish and refresh the Gilmartin building. And we did so because families needed a different kind of space than the one we had. And as that happened, it was a great time to do something that we had been thinking about doing for a while, and that the board and I, in conferring, decided to do, and that was to move 2 portraits of our ministers emeriti who were at that time in the Owl Room where our youth often meet, but which aren't the most public of our spaces. And so the portrait of Aaron Gilmartin now is right inside the front door of the Gilmartin building. And I love that because when I walk in, often having conversations with my nemesis, the copy machine, I can look up and see this broader vision about what this congregation is about, and to remember, sometimes in the details, which there are details in community life that can be annoying, that we have this grander vision. And the portrait of Reverend Dr. Dave Sammons was moved in here to reflect his vision in creating a campus that allowed us to grow into what we needed to be over these last decades. And so we've honored him by placing his portrait here in the sanctuary, and that is something that I am glad to honor. So as Aaron Gilmartin said, we need to be the community that believes so strongly in the preciousness of human life that we will interfere when human beings are being smothered, whether by air pollution, government bureaucracy, a school committee, or an authoritarian state. And in honor of that partnership here that is so rich between those of us who serve as ministers and those who serve as our members, I want to honor Arliss Ungar, whose scholarly work has preserved so many of the words of Aaron Gilmartin. May they and all the values that sometimes are explicit and sometimes are just part of that river that we inherit of legacy be with us in these days when they are so greatly needed.